This is what keeps you from becoming rich. Everyone does it and doesn't realize it. Most people believe they are not rich because they never had an opportunity, because they were born in the wrong place, because the market is difficult, or because money is unfair. But Andrew Carnegie used to say something far more uncomfortable. What keeps someone away from wealth is not what they lack. It's what they do every single day without realizing it. There is a silent behavior, almost invisible, that repeats itself in the lives of those who never prosper. It doesn't look like a serious mistake. On the contrary, it looks normal. It looks safe. It even looks responsible. And that is exactly why it destroys more dreams than any economic crisis ever could. That mistake is living in reaction mode instead of construction mode. Most people wake up every day putting out fires. They solve what appears. They answer messages. They complete tasks. They pay bills. They survive the week. And they call this life. But they never stop to ask a simple, brutal question. Is what I'm doing today actually taking me where I want to go? Carnegie observed this for decades. He saw intelligent, hardworking, honest men who were stuck. Not because they were incapable, but because they lived permanently reacting to circumstances. Whoever lives reacting never leads their own destiny. They only respond to someone else's. Another behavior that keeps people away from wealth is confusing being busy with making progress. Being busy creates a false sense of advancement. The person feels tired, feels productive, feels like they did a lot. But when they look back, nothing has changed. Their income is the same. Their opportunities are the same. Their lifestyle is the same. Carnegie said the world does not reward visible effort. It rewards strategic value. If you spend your entire day doing things that almost anyone else could do, you become replaceable. And those who are replaceable never build real wealth. Another common behavior is postponing difficult decisions. People know exactly what they need to do. They know they need to study more, change environments, say no, take calculated risks, position themselves better. But they postpone it. Tomorrow, next month, when everything feels perfect. Carnegie believed that wealth is not born from perfection. It is born from decision. Those who wait for total safety never leave the same place. Those who decide while afraid move forward. There is also the mistake of accepting less out of fear of losing. Many people charge less than they are worth, accept less than they deserve, stay in places that do not grow. All because of fear of rejection, fear of being replaced, fear of conflict. Carnegie was direct about this. Anyone who undervalues themselves teaches the world to treat them as small. Another habit that blocks wealth is surrounding yourself with people who normalize mediocrity. Environments shape thinking. Thinking shapes decisions. Decisions shape destiny. If you are surrounded by people who complain, justify failure, and treat stagnation as normal, you begin to believe that this is the limit of reality. Carnegie believed that changing environments is often more powerful than learning any technique. Another invisible barrier is the fear of appearing ambitious. Many people stop themselves because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to seem greedy. They don't want to stand out. But Carnegie said prosperity is not greed. It is the ability to create value at scale. Those who fear growth end up justifying their own limitation with false morality. There is also the habit of consuming more than you build. People spend energy on entertainment, distraction, and emotional consumption. Very little time is invested in reading, planning, learning, and construction. Carnegie said wealthy people consume selectively and build obsessively. Another destructive behavior is blaming external factors. The economy, the government, the family, luck. Carnegie said that whenever someone transfers responsibility, they also transfer power. The moment you take full responsibility, you begin to see possibilities where you once saw excuses. But perhaps the greatest mistake of all is not thinking long-term. Most people are trapped in the immediate. This month's salary, this week's problem, today's relief. Carnegie thought in decades, in systems, in legacy. Wealth is not an event. It is a cumulative process. He observed that financially poor people make decisions that relieve the present. Wealthy people make decisions that build the future. This difference, repeated over years, creates an unbridgeable gap. Another critical point is failing to protect your mind. What you listen to, what you watch, what you repeat to yourself, all of this shapes your inner dialogue. Carnegie said thoughts are seeds. You always harvest what you plant. If you feed fear, you harvest paralysis. If you feed complaint, you harvest stagnation. If you feed vision, you harvest opportunity. Most people are not poor because they lack money. They are poor because they have an excess of automatic habits that were never questioned. And the hardest truth is this. Everyone does this without realizing it. They react instead of building. They stay busy instead of advancing. They postpone instead of deciding. They accept little out of fear. They remain in limiting environments. They consume more than they create. They blame instead of taking ownership. They think about now instead of later. Carnegie believed that becoming wealthy is not about changing everything at once. It is about interrupting invisible patterns. The moment you begin to live with intention, strategy, and long-term vision, money begins to respond. Not because of magic, but because of coherence. Because wealth always follows behavior.